Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're talking about being attractive, so attractive that people ignore the real you. This is not a one size fits all. It does happen. They ignore the real you and may even paint a false picture of you in their minds or to others. The first sign that this may apply is that people misjudge you at first. Others may assume you're arrogant, cold, overtly serious. They may assume that you're a player, that you've been divorced multiple times, and these sound like really negative things. But they're assigning negativity to you, typically because it helps them offset what they're perceiving as intimidating, or they're jealous, or they're uncomfortable about the difference between them and yourself. But also a lot of people who have been hurt before. So if this is a woman and she's interested in you, she may always believe men that she's attracted to have a bad history because she has a bad string of relationships. She may think you're arrogant or cold because she's thinking she doesn't have a chance with you, when in actuality, you're friendly. But she's not seeing that. And the research that we see in 2007 actually shows across multiple experiences and cross-cultural data that we found primarily people evaluate others from two dimensions, or two perspectives is a better way to put it. They look at you from warmth. So this is friendliness, trustworthiness, intent, and then competence. This is ability, intelligence, status, attractiveness. And what happens is these judgments are often rapid. They form very rapidly, but they're with limited information. And so the key findings of this research shows that the warmth judgment actually tends to occur when that information is processed very quickly, usually with minimal cues. However, if somebody is not prominently warm or they're ambiguous about this perspective, they often lean and rely on the other aspect, which is competence, attractiveness, status. And we see that people who are seen as highly competent but uncertain about warmth is often perceived as cold, arrogant, intimidating, or other negative factors. People who are seen as attractive tend to elicit both positive and negative reactions. And unfortunately, if people find themselves to be lower than your level, they might actually believe negativity about you. They may assign negative traits based on their own experiences, making them feel better, defense mechanisms, okay? And so that is the first one. They misjudge you. And what do I mean by that? They don't see the real you. They're ignoring the real you. They might have an idea that you are friendly, that you are nice, that you are like a good guy. But it's easier for them to say, well, you can't have everything. So if you are competent, I'm going to dig on that. Or if she likes you, she might think, well, I'm afraid that you're going to reject me. So I don't want to assume that you like me or you're nice, because if you do reject me and you're nice, that just means that I'm unattractive. And so usually they ignore the real you, even if it is fairly obvious or you correct them, they still ignore it. The next one is increased self-monitoring. This is going to be more obvious towards someone that is attracted to you. She may adjust clothing. This is more continuously. It's going to be more nervous because she feels like she's not good enough, just putting it bluntly. She fixes her hair repeatedly. She checks her posture, and she seems overly concerned with her appearance. Now, people can do this if they're not uncomfortable with themselves. Maybe something's bothering them, right? That can happen. However, you're going to see that she's going to repeatedly do this while simultaneously looking at your perspective of her. She might literally glance at you while in between these things. And this can reflect a heightened sense of self-awareness during the evaluation process of her or someone evaluating you. The next one is, we're going to look at it from a couple factors, but basically a lot of people have assumptions about your relationship history. People might think there's no way that you're single. People might think, oh, maybe you've been married multiple times and you're a player, because they assign negativity due to your attractiveness. And if it's a girl and she likes you, she's assuming that you're going to do the same thing to her, so she doesn't want to get involved with you because she's too afraid to be rejected by you. She may ask about your relationship history multiple times. She might not believe you. Again, she's ignoring the real you. It's really not on purpose. If it's a girl who likes you, it's not malicious. It's actually because she's just afraid to be rejected. And in actuality, calming this down, it can be a little difficult because it does signal insecurity on her side. But if that's not too prominent and you're still attracted to her, what you can mention is By the way, I noticed you've asked this multiple times. To be honest, it's getting a little annoying. I've told you multiple times I'm not married. I've not been married multiple times. I don't have a secret girlfriend. I'm being genuine. I'm dating you or I like you and I'm just telling you how it is to reassure her. Or if you guys are still friends, you can still say, that's not true. I'm really particular about who I choose. I am single. I'm telling you the truth. Please stop asking me. Set a boundary, but be honest about what you really are. Don't play into that and not be direct, because what's going to happen is in her mind, she's going to run through all of the possibilities of what it could be and be even more intimidated and uncomfortable around you. The next one is people might deflect questions or they change topics quickly. If it is a woman that is attracted to you, she might feel like her answer is, and I'm just being honest with you, embarrassing compared to yours. An example that I see a lot coming up in sessions with patients that feel like this is really, affecting them, and it does happen, is career. So he might be, let's say he's a lawyer, give an example, and the girl that he's on a date with, she is, let's just say she's a receptionist. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is a status difference. And she might feel like you won't like her if she tells you the truth. And so she might deflect that answer or that question and not give you the answer of what she does. Or she might say something vague. Yeah, I work at a dentist's office. But she doesn't want to say what particular place it is. And this is a very big sign that she's feeling uncomfortable around your presence and she's ignoring the reality of you because you're on a date with her. It's not likely you're going to judge her, but she has this negative assignment on you. Now, another situation this could be is career-wise. Maybe you're asking questions that's important, like in a meeting or something, and it actually is a very valid, very good question. People might ignore you because responding will show signs that the question is a really good one. So, for example, if you're saying, hey, what are we planning to do with this? I'm seeing that this is really important in the market. Are we planning to add that to our company? People might deflect it. They might change the topic. They might speak over you, but it's not because what you're saying is not valuable. Sometimes what people do, and this is very true, especially with a lot of people who are insecure, they want credit for that question as well. Or they might want credit and you to not have credit. So they're going to ignore you because they don't want it highlighted that you asked the question. Interesting enough, what you will find is these people will take that topic and bring it up at a later time. And so you will know if this is happening. They're ignoring the real you by doing so. The next one is they'll downplay your achievements. If it is a woman that is attracted to you and she feels insecure or intimidated by you, she might downplay your achievements because she feels like she's not good enough for you. And she might not want you to see the difference between your achievements. So let's say you got an award at work. She might say, oh yeah, that's really great. And she might just not really talk much about it. But it's not because she doesn't think it's great. It's because maybe she's never won an award. And she's afraid, not that you would do this, right? This is about ignoring the real you, that if she mentions, oh wow, that's really great, I've never won an award, she might think that you'll dump her. Some women are really genuinely afraid of stuff like this. And a lot of men are not like that, which is why it's just it doesn't make a lot of sense because a lot of men don't really care about stuff like that. But some women are just afraid of that. And so that's something to keep in mind. If it's in a work situation, they might downplay your achievements because they're jealous and they want to ignore the real you, which is the person who gets a lot of achievements. A sub point to this is some people might take credit for your achievements as well. So if it's a boss and they did literally nothing, but they're just your boss, they might say, oh yeah, we did that together. They will take some credit for that. So the next one is, this is particularly if a woman likes you and she really likes you, but she feels like she's not good enough for you, okay? She will laugh kind of nervously or she over agrees with you. I'm not saying you're a scary person who's going to yell at her or anything like that, but she's just afraid if she doesn't agree with you that you're going to not like her. And so even if it's something really silly, and a lot of guys don't like when girls do this, by the way. If you are a girl watching this, a lot of guys don't really appreciate this because it feels it is pretty dishonest. So I know that you're trying to please him, but he just doesn't get to know the real you. So for example, if a guy is saying that he likes a certain, I don't know what he likes, something, sports, maybe he likes some hobby, some computer game, whatever it is, he's talking about it. And maybe you don't understand or you don't like it or you don't agree. Instead, what we see women do, sorry, I'm saying you as in the woman now. Sometimes women will over agree to avoid saying, hey, I don't really get what you're talking about, or I don't really agree. She is afraid that if she says that, you're going to say, oh, we're not compatible. Bye. I don't like you anymore. And then you don't like her. She's not good enough. She might feel like she's below your level. And you didn't say any of this, right? She's ignoring all the signals of you being friendly, of you being open, you liking her, and she's getting in her head. And so she's actually over agreeing because she's afraid of rejection. The next one is closed body language, but this is really important. I need to mention this. If it's closed body language, but it's none of these things and it's only closed body language, that could signal disinterest on attractiveness, or she's just feeling uncomfortable for whatever reason. But if you're seeing all of these things and closed body language, it probably means she feels a little intimidated if it's a woman. If it's a guy who's jealous of you or thinks that he's not good enough to fit your category, maybe he's competitive over the situation, he might have closed body language around you all the time, always trying to get digs at you, and you'll see this crossed arm, angle body away, creating distance, okay? And this is particularly, the next one is if there's attraction. There's going to be some strong eye contact, but she may break it and then she'll look back again, normally when you're almost glancing away, because she doesn't want to be caught looking at you again. And so situational indicators, just in case that these, the symptoms of the situation might not fit or you're not really sure, these are indicators that you might fit this even if you haven't noticed it. You might be someone who's a little bit, like confident is a good way to put it, assertive, maybe intense. Go-getter type. You might fit this because a lot of people are not that and they kind of wish they were. The next one is like if you have higher status, career-wise, financially, physically, socially, some good ways to put it. The next one is like you speak very direct and blunt, so it proves that you feel comfortable in your answers. You're a good contender for a leadership position, and then you maintain strong eye contact. A lot of people do feel intimidated by people who do this because it does indicate confidence. The next one is not something you can control. So I'm not blaming you and saying you shouldn't do this, but if you are physically imposing, so if you're quite tall, if you have a deeper voice, but see, it's not always height. It could be your presence. If you're very, very fit and a bit of a larger man, your presence might be like, if you're muscular or you work out, that is still like, you, even if you're not very tall compared to other people, you have a presence, and that is still physically imposing, if that makes sense. And the last one is you're highly intelligent and you articulate well, and you might dominate conversations. And so the research is pinned in the comments. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.